I'm Vicki Hoth. I'm Education Coordinator for Handi Quilter, and I'd like to teach you a few things about the maintenance of your machine so that it's going to run properly while you're quilting. The first most important thing is that you need to keep the machine clean, clean the bobbin area, clean the tracks, and so we're going to go through some things so you can understand what we need to do. I have a bobbin case here, and if I turn this around, you can see right here that I've got some lint from the previous quilt that I was using. I was using a cotton thread. And inside here you can also see the lint that's right there, and that is going to create a tension issue if I don't clean that out. We want to be sure and clean that lint out of there. So a couple of things I could do. I could take a pin and use it to clean out, to slide under there. I could take a business card and slide under there, and you see the lint that just slid out? That would make a big difference. I could also take a brush, we can clean that off, and clean out the inside of this, making sure that that's all clean. And a brush comes with your machine, so you'll be able to clean that out. I still have some lint there, and maybe I'll go back and choose the pin to kind of slide that out and clean that off. Don't blow on the bobbin case. Just use a pin or see, we'll just clean that off, and that'll be ready for you to put your bobbin in and then tension it up properly. Okay, now we're going to move to the inside, the hook area, and see how we need to clean that. Okay, now you'll notice that we've been stitching a lot with some cotton thread, and you'll see a lot of lint in here. We need to make sure that's cleaned out, and then we'll need to re-oil. So if we take that, you'll see all that lint. Clean that off the brush. You don't want to use canned air, so we don't want to push it back into the machine. You could use a vacuum if you wanted and pull it, vacuum it out, clean up underneath by the needle plate. You'll see all that lint that's come out of there. Clean the inside of the hook out. And there we go. We're ready now to oil the machine. And now, if you'll notice, the only place that we need to oil on our machine is the race area. We don't have to oil any other part. So if you'll see the machine, the hook turn, you can see there's a lip there, right here where the race is, where the two metal parts are going around each other. And so as it stops here, right here, we'll turn back. You'll see right here, if I drop just a drop of oil there, and if you do more than a drop of oil, you could clean it out, or so that it doesn't get on your quilt, which you can see oil under there. But you can see this area here. If you just lay your spout right on there and drop that oil on there, that is the only place that you need to oil on any of our HQ machines. The next thing I'd like to show you is how to replace your needle. Now I want to show you the difference between a couple of needles. Now this needle, it's a really large needle, and obviously it won't work in your machine, but you'll see that it has on the back of the shank a flat spot, and that helps for positioning in domestic machines. Our machine, and we'll show you a small one of that, has no flat. It is completely round, and so sometimes that makes it a little bit harder to position, but I'll show you how easy it will be to do. The next thing is we have a groove down the center, down the front of the needle, and that front that's where it faces you. On the back there's a scarf. The scarf is where the hook would pass by, so we need that indent so that it doesn't clip the needle. And this groove down the front helps protect the thread, so you want to make sure that the correct size of thread is used with the correct size of needle so that it will fit within that groove and protect it as it pierces the fabric. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is take out our old needle, and every quilt deserves a new needle, so this has been used for a while, and we're going to take that out. We're going to thumb screw that off. Take that out. And then I'm going to save that, keep that right there. Then I'm going to pick up my new needle, making sure the scarf is in the back, the groove is in the front, and I can just slip it down in there and up into the area. And now, one thing I want you to see is there is what we call a sight hole. I'll use the screwdriver right here. If I don't have my needle up in there, I can push this screwdriver all the way through that sight hole. Okay? That sight hole, once I put the needle up in, my screwdriver will not go through. So I know that my needle is all the way up as far as it should go. Now I can just take my needle, and I just went down the groove of it. There's the groove. And with my left hand, I can position this at 7, 6, 5, 6 o'clock is the proper positioning. And with my finger under there, it kind of holds it up, keeps it up into that all the way at the top of the needle bar, holding that. And now, 6 o'clock position, finger tighten that until it's tight enough, and then I'm ready to quilt. Okay, we have cleaned our machine, cleaned our bobbin case, changed the needle. We have oiled it, and one thing I wanted to point out about your oil is when it comes new to you, it will come with the spout pushed down into the bottle. Go ahead and pull that out. This is the cap. You can take that cap off to oil and then you put it back on, but after you've pulled it out, leave it out, and you can just screw your cap back on, but don't push it back into the bottle. Now I want to show you how to keep your tracks clean. You'll see here we've got some black on this track. Quilt batting is your best friend. You can just rub that, and as I rub that across there, it cleans off all of the lint and grit that it forms. And the same thing with these tracks, and also your wheels. The wheels, if I just move this along, I can clean those wheels off, and you can see how dirty they get after lint. Another thing that I'd like to point out is all of the thread that can build up if you're not careful in keeping things clean and having a trash to throw them in, is right here on our Pro Stitcher. I don't even know if I can reach this, but I've got it, there is wound a lot of thread on this gear here. And eventually that can cause some problems. You see all that thread that I can pull up there. And as I turn that, I can pull that off or take a pair of scissors and clip that off. If a thread is on your track and you are stitching, that thread can throw you and it won't give you a good smooth stitch. Just that one thread you will feel as you roll your machine across it. So, you want to make sure that you maintain your machine, correct needles, needle position, oiling, and keeping things clean, and quilting will be a lot better for you. We've learned a lot of things today about how to maintain your machine. I hope these tips help you so that it'll make your quilting really smooth. Happy quilting.